We are fast approaching Rosh Hashanah. There are approximately 10 days before the new Jewish year of 5771, and we associated this with the creation of the universe. And the Hebrew date 5771, unless my arithmetic is flawed, this is a prime number. The question is, why is this year, Rosh Hashanah, 5771, why is it a year which is a prime number? A prime number being something that's not divisible by anything else except itself in one. And the answer is that a week before Rosh Hashanah, inexplicably, on the same Hebrew date as the tragedy of 9/11 unfolded, the Obama administration has forced Israel to come for negotiations with the PLO, the PA, the Palestinian Authority, which has really no authority over Gaza, which is the main center of the so-called Palestinian people, together with Egypt and Jordan. This is in order to force, or try and force Israel for concessions, which would be possibly fatal to the Jewish state. Let me make this clear. It is prohibited for the Prime Minister, according to Jewish law, to put a freeze on building in Judea and Samaria. The reason why it's prohibited is because the reason for that freeze is not because of any other reason other than the demands of Abbas that he won't negotiate unless there's a freeze. When you freeze construction and allow Arab construction in the same territory, in effect you are saying that Abbas has authority on land that is Jewish land, not just now in control of Israel, but land that always belonged to the Jewish state. Hebron was never an Arab city. Hebron had a significant Jewish population until they made a pogrom, murdered 70 people, injured hundreds of others, and exiled about 5,000 residents from the city in the year 1929. This came with the blind eye of the British High Commission that was in charge, supposedly, of seeing that there be a fair way of dividing the land. Hebron has always been a Jewish city. It never was an Arab city until recently. Hebron is the seat of the Judean Empire, where Judea was the capital of Judea until it was transposed by Jerusalem. Hebron was the city of the patriarchs, is the city of the patriarchs, where Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob are buried along with their spouses. And the Arabs, the Muslims, agree to that. So why is the burial place of Isaac, which has nothing to do with the Arabs, and Jacob, which has got nothing to do with the Arabs, an Arab place? It's obviously a Jewish place. Not being allowed to build near where the patriarchs are buried is tantamount to saying that the patriarchs' land belongs to the Arabs. That's the height of chutzpah. My grandfather's place belongs to you who have nothing to do with it. So, that's the reason why this Hebrew year is 5771. It's a prime number. It's not divisible by 2s or 3s or any other number. The reason is that it's a time when people of Israel must become independent, not dependent upon others. God has seen to it, miraculously, by divine providence, that this independence should be readily apparent. At a time when the rest of the world is reeling from recession and almost a full-blown depression, Israel's economy is fairly robust, despite the Arabs' best efforts to destroy the Israeli economy, despite the intentions, good or otherwise, of this administration. Israel's economy is not booming, but is robust. And Israel just discovered off of its shores incredibly large gas fields and a huge oil field with the capacity of giving Israel total energy independence for generations, with the possibility of Israel becoming an oil and gas exporter. That's how vast those oil fields are. So much so that it's off of the coast of Haifa. So guess what? The Lebanese are claiming it. And they threaten they'll go to war if Israel dares to tap in to the oil and gas resource, which is right off of Haifa, which is not anywhere near the Lebanese border. And so the reason and the message is that we have to become independent and not be afraid to be there for ourselves, for our own self-preservation. For any territorial compromise means placing the collective head of Israel on the chopping block. For Israel, pre-67 Israel, at its neck was 9 miles wide, a very short distance. You cannot go back to the pre-67 borders. In fact, you really cannot go back and give any territory up. And as far as I'm concerned, the only peace is peace for peace. No land for peace. Can't give up any land. You can allow peace. You can allow them to have commerce, business, govern their own affairs, but no independent territory from which to have missile launches on Israeli populations. And that's the message of this year, 5771. We have to become independent. God has shown us that we are capable of economic independence. Now it's just a question of political will to be politically independent. Yes, if you say no to Obama, he will be angry and stamp his feet. But guess what? Iran is doing just what they want to do, and Obama's still stamping his feet and saying and rattling a saber, which is made of paper mache. And so the truth is that if you stand firm, you'll be respected, and you won't put yourself under the chopping block. And that's what we, those who love Israel, have to demand. Independence, strength, and not being afraid of being criticized by liberals.